Kia ora no, my name's Raymond Hohipa. Everyone knows me as Ray. So yeah, I've been a tā moko practitioner for 15 years now. And so how I first got into tā moko was my koro got his face done. And my koro always knew that I was sort of like the Māori artist in the family. And so my koro asked the artist who did his moko kanohi if I could go under his wing, but eventually, my koro didn't get to ask him because he passed away. And so the artists come to my koro's tangi, and then all the uncles said that that my koro's last wish was for me to learn the art of tā moko. And so the artists came and met me and asked me like all these questions and stuff, and what do I want to learn about tā moko and stuff. And I think I answered, probably the first and foremost would be the hygiene, because hygiene's all pretty thing these days. And then he just like, oh yeah, that's the right answer. He said that was the answer that he wanted to hear. And so he wasn't about the drawing or anything. It was about the hygiene of people. So from there he just gave me his details. His studio was in Auckland, and so I moved from Whakatane to Auckland, and just went and did an apprenticeship with him and for a whole year. And then after a year, he said, now it's time for you to go do your thing, and and just practice or just keep doing it, because you can only get better, he was saying. And so I remember doing my first moko, and I was like shaking and sweating, and every time like my cousin would say like he was in pain, I go, oh sorry. But now, like 10 years later, I was be quiet, just handle it, but I also I think 10 years later, doing tā moko, that's when I first did my first moko kauai.
Right.
And it was on my mum. So I kept nagging my mum, mum, you should get your moko kauai done. And she was like, I'm not ready yet. And so she just wasn't ready, and she said she had a few things to sort out before she wanted to get it done. And her main reason was she wanted to give up smoking.
Right.
And then 2 years later, she still hadn't given up smoking. And then I told her, I'm sure our kuia used to have pipes or something when they had their moko kauais done. And so eventually she made the decision to get a moko kauai. And because like my mum didn't have to ask anybody, that was her. Right. She wanted to do it for her. And she was the big chief at our marae too. So,
and where was that, bro?
So our marae is in Ruatoki at Otenuku Marae. So the hapu there is Ngāti Kaura. Like I said before, Mum was the big chief there. So Mum made all the plans and everything, and we went there on the day of her receiving her moko and stuff. And we all had a ringatu karakia, which takes hours during the morning. And then after the karakia, me and my first cousin Tamahori, we sat out, and I sort of wanted to prepare myself for doing my first moko kauai. So we sat outside and just looking at because we're surrounded by trees and stuff, and just while we were looking up at the trees, there were like 4 kereru there, and my cousin was like, hey, look, there's some kererus up there. That's a sign saying your mum's allowed to. And I said, I think it's breakfast, bro. Breakfast. So and my cousin gave me a slap. So we sort of seen it as a sign for me to do my mum. And the design come from myself and my sister. I was messaging my sister, because sister, I need this the design, so just so I can prepare for it. And she didn't give it to me until the day of and so I drew a backup just in case she didn't.
Right.
And our designs were matching.
Wow.
So that was probably the most cool part about that. Like her and mine were both the same. So so I did the moko kauai, and it took with the lips about an hour and a half. But like my mum, she said she's seen all our kuias and karaua, and she said, oh look, I can see Uncle Hui. And I was like looking around doing, just carry on, And she was talking away. Well, not talking, like she was doing the like doing this. I was going, oh, him. You right, mum? I was going, yep. Just talking to uncle. I was going, hey, looking around. But his photo was there too. So yeah, that's my uncle was my mum's older brother.
Right.
And which he passed away. And yeah, so I think the cool part about it was like all our tipunas, all our kuia and kraua that my mum saw, all their namesakes was there. And I didn't know, like, we had nephews and nieces
Right.
who have the name of our
Right.
kuia and kraua, and they were all there, and I didn't realise until
Those
afterwards.
connections. Yeah.
So yeah, like my nanny Tātai, she passed away, but my cousin Tātai was there rubbing my mum's feet, saying, and I didn't think nothing of it. So yeah, that was a cool part. Like the Wairu side of things was awesome. Yeah. So I remember finishing, and my mum just had like tears of joy. Like yeah, she was so happy, and yeah, everyone just gave her a big hug and kiss, but it was also a big thing for our marae too. Like I think it was the first time
Yeah.
since probably 20 years ago.
Wow.
So that's my story about me doing my first tā moko. Yeah, so at the start of the year, my mum passed away. But yeah, it was good seeing her, like, and because she got wrapped in a whāriki as well.
Oh,
And it
okay.
looked old school, like no coffin, just a whāriki wrapped around
Right.
her.
Wow.
And then to see her moko look real old school. Yeah, I think, and my mum started a trend too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The big
which
boss and the
yeah,
trendsetter.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
yeah, that's my story.